Picture yourself wandering through a bustling farmer's market on a crisp Saturday morning. The air's alive with the aroma of freshly baked bread, ripe strawberries, and brewed coffee. Your latte's warm in your hand, vendors are calling out deals, and laughter weaves through the crowd. Everything feels perfect, until a piercing scream shatters the moment. A man collapses right in front of you, clutching his chest, his heart stopping. The crowd freezes, panic spreading like wildfire. Everyone's watching, but no one moves, except one woman. She's no superhero, just a nurse with skills she uses every day. What she does next will leave you absolutely speechless. This is the true story of a single moment that changed 2 lives forever. Meet Sarah Thompson, a 32-year-old nurse from Chicago, with tired hazel eyes and a warm, slightly crooked smile. She's not out saving the world in a cape or chasing villains. She's a mom of 2, Ethan, 8, who loves soccer, and Lily, 5, who's obsessed with drawing rainbows. Her life is a chaotic juggle of night shifts at St. Mary's Hospital, charting vitals, calming anxious patients, and sneaking in naps between school runs. She's the kind of person who keeps snacks in her purse for her kids and always has a spare bandage for a scraped knee. This Saturday, though, is a rare gift, her first day off in 3 weeks. The sun's shining, the air's crisp with early fall, and Sarah's at the Lincoln Park Farmers Market, savoring a moment of calm. She's clutching a steaming latte, her reusable tote slung over her shoulder, mentally ticking off her grocery list: strawberries for Lily, avocados for Ethan, sandwiches, maybe a loaf of sourdough if she's feeling indulgent. The market's a sensory explosion. Red apples gleam under canvas tents, yellow marigolds sway in the breeze, vendors shout about organic honey and fresh kale. Kids dart between stalls, clutching balloons, while couples haggle over artisanal cheese and sample homemade jams. Sarah's chatting with a vendor named Rosa, a grandmotherly woman with a thick accent, about heirloom tomatoes. They laugh about how Sarah's kids refuse anything green unless it's candy. She's relaxed, her scarf fluttering in the breeze, her guard down. It's the kind of morning where the world feels in harmony, where nothing could possibly go wrong. But life, as it so often does, has other plans. The market's cheerful rhythm shatters with a sharp, desperate scream. Sarah's head snaps up, her latte nearly slipping from her fingers. A man, John Carter, 54, a high school history teacher with a kind face and wire-rimmed glasses, is on the ground, his paper grocery bag torn, apples rolling across the pavement. He's clutching his chest, his face ghostly pale, eyes wide with raw terror. His body jerks once, then stills. The crowd stumbles back, gasps rippling like waves. A young man shouts, he's having a heart attack. A woman's voice, shrill, yells, someone call 911, but the crowd's frozen, a sea of shocked faces staring. Some pull out phones, a few start recording, others fumble to dial, their hands shaking. John's lips are turning blue, his eyes half open, lifeless. Sarah's heart slams against her ribs. She's trained for this, years in the ER, countless drills on crash carts, nights spent stabilizing trauma patients. But she's off duty, no stethoscope, no defibrillator, just her hands and her instincts. Her coffee hits the ground, splashing across her sneakers. She pushes through the crowd, her voice cutting through the chaos, "Move, please. Let me through." She drops to her knees beside John, her fingers pressing his wrist, searching for a pulse. It's faint, a weak flutter. "Sir, can you hear me?" she asks, her voice steady but urgent, leaning close to check his breathing. Nothing. Her mind races, but her training takes over like muscle memory. John's in cardiac arrest. Every second is a ticking clock, and Sarah knows she's his only chance right now. Sarah locks her hands over John's chest, her elbows straight, and begins CPR. 1, 2, 3, she counts under her breath, her arms pumping in a steady, relentless rhythm. Each compression is deliberate, forceful, pushing deep into his sternum. Her shoulders burn, sweat beads on her forehead, dripping onto her scarf, but she doesn't falter. The crowd's a mix of silence and murmurs. Some pray softly, others watch, transfixed, a few still filming with their phones. A woman in her 60s, with trembling hands, steps forward, offering her knitted scarf to cushion John's head. Sarah nods a quick thanks, her eyes never leaving John, her rhythm unbroken. Her mind flashes to her ER training, 100 to 120 compressions per minute, deep enough to circulate blood, sometimes hard enough to crack ribs. She's done this before, on mannequins, in sterile hospital rooms, with monitors beeping and doctors nearby. But here, in the middle of a market, with dirt under her knees and no equipment, it's different. The weight of it presses on her, but she pushes back. Seconds stretch into minutes, 2, 3, 4. Her arms scream for rest, her breath comes in sharp gasps, but she keeps going. The crowd's voices fade, it's just her, John, and the rhythm of survival. Then, a faint twitch, John's chest rises, a weak gasp escaping his lips. Sarah pauses, her fingers flying to his neck. A pulse, faint but real. "Stay with me, John," she whispers, her voice cracking with relief. Sirens wail, growing louder, cutting through the market's hush. Paramedics burst through the crowd, their bags clattering with equipment. Sarah's voice is steady as she briefs them: male, mid-50s, cardiac arrest, CPR for 6 minutes, pulse just returned. They take over, attaching electrodes, slipping an oxygen mask over John's face. Sarah steps back, her hands trembling, her legs unsteady. The crowd parts as paramedics load John onto a stretcher, red lights flashing against the market stalls. Sarah stands alone, adrenaline fading, exhaustion crashing over her like a wave. Sarah watches the ambulance disappear, its sirens fading into Chicago's hum. The crowd begins to scatter, some clapping her shoulder, murmuring, "You're amazing." Rosa, the tomato vendor, presses a fresh latte into her hands, free, her eyes brimming with respect. "You saved him, Mija," she says softly. Sarah forces a shaky smile, her legs like jelly, her mind still racing. She picks up her tote bag, the stethoscope still tucked inside, and starts the walk home, the market's noise fading behind her. At her apartment, she steps through the door, and Ethan and Lily tackle her with hugs, oblivious to the day's weight. She holds them a little tighter, their small arms grounding her. Later, at the hospital, she learns John survived. Her quick thinking kept him alive until the paramedics arrived. He's stable, expected to recover fully. Days pass, and Sarah's back in the ER, charting vitals, soothing a frightened patient, her stethoscope around her neck like always. But something's different. She carries the market moment with her, a quiet shift in how she sees herself. John, now recovering, tracks her down through the hospital. He's a quiet man, a history teacher who loves stories of the Civil War, with a wife, Margaret, and a grown daughter, Emily. He invites Sarah to his classroom at Lincoln High, where his students, wide-eyed teens, present her with a handmade card, covered in colorful marker. "You're our hero," it reads. Sarah blushes, insisting she just did her job, but the words linger. She and John stay in touch, meeting for coffee once, sharing a quiet bond. Sarah's life goes on, night shifts, soccer games, Lily's rainbow drawings, but she's not just a nurse anymore. She's the woman who didn't hesitate, who turned an ordinary day into a miracle. This story isn't just about a nurse saving a stranger, it's about the power we all hold in the moments that matter most. Sarah Thompson wasn't wearing a cape or wielding superpowers. She was a mom, a nurse, a woman with skills honed through years of ordinary, grueling work, checking pulses, reading charts, staying calm under pressure. But in that fleeting, chaotic moment at the market, those everyday skills became extraordinary. She didn't hesitate, didn't wait for someone else to step up. She acted, and a man lived because of it. It makes you stop and think, what do you carry inside you that could change someone's life? Maybe it's first aid from a high school class, or the ability to stay calm when everyone else panics. Maybe it's just the courage to move when others freeze. Sarah's story is a reminder that heroism isn't about being fearless or larger than life. It's about doing what's needed, even when your heart's pounding and your hands are shaking. We all have something to offer, a skill, a choice, a spark that can light up the darkest moment. What if you trusted that spark? What if you stepped forward, just once, and made a difference? Sarah's not so different from you or me. Her story is a call to look inside, to find the quiet strength you might not even know you have, and to believe that your everyday could be someone else's miracle. John Carter's back in his classroom now, chalk in hand, teaching his students about the Battle of Gettysburg, his passion for history undimmed. He's alive today because Sarah didn't hesitate, because her hands knew what to do when his heart stopped. They've stayed in touch, small moments, like a coffee meetup at a quiet cafe, or a thank you note slipped into Sarah's mailbox. She's still at St. Mary's Hospital, still charting vitals, still calming patients, still running on too little sleep. She's still a mom, cheering at Ethan's soccer games, framing Lily's rainbow drawings. But she carries that day at the market with her, a quiet reminder of what she's capable of. Her story isn't just hers, it's a spark for all of us. Think about it. What would you have done in that moment? Could you step up when the world stops? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. What's a time you acted when it mattered most? If Sarah's story moved you, hit that like button to spread her courage. And subscribe for more real stories that remind us what it means to be human. Because you never know when one story might inspire you to change a life.